Hey guys, hello everyone. A fresh review of Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin is back at the mark of $83,000, and probably last week, this week, next week will be some of the most interesting in the crypto market because the events that are unfolding now are, in fact, unprecedented. This concerns macroeconomics, the crypto market, and in fact, the new global political regime, which we will definitely discuss today. Bitcoin, after a significant rise, has fallen back to the same levels. Why? How to act? What are my thoughts? Today we will discuss. Let's move on to the charts. Be sure to give this video a like. Let's get down to business. So, I think we will sort of divide it. First, we will talk about setups. Then we will discuss cause and effect relationships. Why things are happening the way they are. So let's start with Bitcoin. The first key thought, I remind you, the last time I did a review, and before that, we always focused on the same level, $92,000. It is very, very important for us. This is a key zone. And actually, at the time of the last review, which I recorded yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, I said that how we hold above or fall below this level determines the further development scenarios. In fact, if we hold above, then most likely we will immediately go to the all-time high and already into the zone of approximately $130,000, $140,000. If not, and we don't hold accordingly, I will still expect a move downwards. I remind you, the key target zone that I would very much like to see is the $63,000, $73,000 zone. I am designating a broad zone. Naturally, it starts from the upper boundary. And the lower we go, in my opinion, the better it is for us and for further growth. As we can see, it's clear that the situation is still developing, but we haven't seen any consolidation. Accordingly, for us, the scenario looks the opposite. Not by consolidation, but in what way? We fell out of this structure downwards. Then we returned for confirmation to it, and now the picture looks very, let's say, locally negative in the sense that with a very high probability we will be falling. As I already mentioned, yes, just to remind you, we are returning to yesterday's review. We just have more data now. To understand, I now see the picture as having reached above $92,000. We didn't consolidate for reasons which we will go over with you now. Because of this, we retraced back to the same zone where, as I remind you, yes, actually, this is where the pump started, this zone of $86,000, where the pump began on the news about the fact that crypto assets will be in the reserves of the United States. And now we have dropped even below this mark, meaning we have retraced even further down. And we are rolling. So, what local levels do we have now that we can potentially pay attention to? It's actually the current level of $84,000. Here we have some sort of trading activity, and then the level of $78,000 to $79,000 respectively, with a very high degree of probability. In my opinion, I might be wrong. We can fall lower here, down to, again, the zone starting at 73. And for me, 63.73 is a single zone because we have significant trading activity here. $63,000 is the main volume of trading of this entire large structure. Yes, if we reach it, that would be absolutely perfect. Therefore, first, as I mentioned earlier, and I will repeat once more, the global bullish scenario, I am not dismissing it in my mind yet, but locally, I am preparing for a deeper dive. And as I wrote yesterday on my channel, I have placed buy orders down to $63,000 to $64,000. So, in this entire zone, I plan to buy, increasing the volume accordingly with each $1,000 drop in Bitcoin. That's roughly my scenario. Can the picture change now? And you understand, the crypto markets, one positive news. With a big candle, today we return back, shaved in both directions. And essentially, again, consolidation above $92,000 will promise us continued growth. But for now, I am evaluating the situation solely based on what we see at the current moment. At the current moment, we see a return to the $92,000 zone for confirmation. And we'll back here down. In the short term, I am more inclined towards the scenario of moving here into this zone, then, accordingly, continuation. Continuation of growth. By the way, pay attention. A few days ago, I published something like this just to record it for myself. Please look here specifically the moment of $80,000 or something like that. I don't see. Then a bounce, slightly higher, then a move to 70K, and then to 130, 140. For now, within this scenario, we'll see how much. These are just my assumptions, guys. I could be wrong. I'm just sharing my thoughts with you on what I see could potentially happen. That's all. These are my scenarios for Bitcoin that I keep in mind. This is what I'm actually betting on with my own money. Agree or disagree, write in the comments. It will be interesting to read. Now let's do something better together. Let's talk about cause and effect relationships. about the news happening in the market because there's a lot of interesting stuff there. Before that, a small traditional reminder. If you trade, always trade on a quality exchange. For me, Bybit has been a reliable partner for many years, so if you don't have an account, I highly recommend registering and trying it out. Using my link and promo code under this video, you get the most favorable commission tier and up to $30,000 in bonuses on your first deposit. Plus, for everyone trading through my referral link, for over 3 years now, we have been developing a trading community where we have a trading chat with no spam, no clutter. A huge number of traders share their setups and analysis every day, 24/7. Plus a knowledge base, plus 2 levels of training, plus a channel with trading probabilities from my team. In fact, all of this is available absolutely free through the first link under the video, community training chat deal. Join us. Well, now let's talk about the news. Take a breath, guys. Share your impressions about everything that's happening. The volatility is crazy, really. We haven't seen anything like this in a long time. What do you feel? How are you coping? Are you not worried? And if you find it helpful, just somehow, I don't know, if my videos calm you or lead you to some thoughts, be sure to give a like. Let's get to the news. So today is actually an important day for us. March 4th. March 4th today comes into force. New tariffs that Donald Trump introduced, and actually, if I'm not mistaken, they take effect today, starting with Canada and Mexico. So here you go. This is a 25% increase in tariffs accordingly. The result, as they say, is evident. Yes, what we see regarding the S&P 500, it has headed downward. And let's just measure from the historical maximum. The S&P should be down 6%. For the S&P, that's quite a lot, considering the fact that we've been growing without any pullbacks. So look at the nuances here. Right now, we have an important level. Overall, up to the 200-day moving average, everything is okay here. We also have volume levels here, the 200-day average. If we go below it, I don't know, it might be time to cancel. I think there will be a bullish scenario because most likely the drop will be much deeper. Everything above, accordingly, the 200-day moving average zone around 5,700 looks very calm to me, so to speak. But nevertheless, we have what we have. So, moving on. Confirmation of what I said in yesterday's review, Arthur Hayes actually, not that I want to rely heavily on his opinion, but he agrees with what I said yesterday, that the fact that Donald Trump announced that there will be crypto reserves, well, as he stated, he wrote on social media, it doesn't really tell us anything, and he is saying the same thing here. Yes, until Congress is justified. These are all empty words and just media. I absolutely agree. I talked about this in yesterday's review. We see the result clearly. For example, the day before yesterday, we were told about crypto reserves. A pump yesterday, for instance, they already came and said, no, actually, only Bitcoin is suitable for crypto reserves. Everything else is junk. Just the market pump. Dump. Therefore, everything that is said, all the news, we perceive solely as informational noise. No law, no document, no approval by Congress. For now, it can just be perceived as general information. That's it. A few more news items, I'll comment on them. So, more on the negative side. Strategy yesterday thought that last week they didn't buy Bitcoins. And many are wondering how Michael Saylor didn't buy Bitcoins. In fact, guys, in my opinion, it works a little differently. You can actually visit the strategy website to read how it happens. How MicroStrategy works. They issue securities, attract loans against these securities, and use the loan to buy Bitcoin. Accordingly, when the market is negative, when the market is falling, naturally, there are fewer people willing to provide loans, as usual. Accordingly, just last week, they were unable to locally raise money to buy Bitcoins, so they didn't buy them. When green candles appear, there will be a ton of people wanting to buy. Strategists will start buying Bitcoins again and so on. This is absolute classic genre, so I just perceive it as informational noise. From the positive news, first, the SEC is halting its case against Kraken. This is in fact very positive notes, in my opinion. All major cases related to the SEC are now being halted for at least 4 years, as we understand. This is good, it will contribute to the development of the crypto market. And more from the positive fun, actually, we have the New York Stock Exchange filed an application for listing the Doge ETF. Accordingly, this is also, well, it's very funny, in my opinion. I still can't understand how we have just some meme coins ending up on the New York Stock Exchange. They haven't been rejected yet, but they will clearly end up there soon. But nevertheless, we have what we have. It's very amusing to observe. These are all quite big positive news for us, which I interpret as positive. Therefore, the fear and greed index shows extreme fear at a mark of 15. For me, this is exclusively by A signal that I should carefully watch the market, be prepared for a more serious downturn, and most importantly, be ready to enter long positions and buy. Because when the market is scary, I buy, and when there's euphoria, I sell accordingly. That's it. The biggest risk I'm taking on in the current situation is the risk of going into a deeper correction. For example, I risk, let's say, Bitcoin, let's just assume, drops somewhere around here, minus 50%. Well, yes, such a risk is always present when we work in financial markets. We always talk about the risk of unpredictable factors that we cannot foresee. We accept all of that. Besides that, guys, keep in mind an important point. If Bitcoin goes into the zone, altcoins, just everything. So you understand what I'm talking about, right? So there is a high probability that, I don't know, some Pepe will drop right under this low. For example, minus 40%, it will just come to this low conditionally. I don't know, in general, it will come to the structure where it was, please, right there. Dollars. That is easily with a Bitcoin drop to $63,000, $73,000. In this range, also will just plunge into the abyss. And many will bury the market at this moment, but in reality, most likely with a high degree of probability, in my opinion, again, the market will shoot up quite brightly and strongly after this. The question is, who will wait for this event, as they say? That's all, my dear ones. Everything you need to know about today to get the maximum profit in the market. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you don't miss new releases. And of course, every comment is very important to me, so don't hesitate right now. Give a like if you found it useful. Share your opinion in the comments. All updates will be on the Telegram channel. Wish you profits. Bye.